Happy Monday, March 25th, everyone. Welcome back to North Central Weather Center. Hunter here, and in today's forecast, we will be talking about a major snowstorm moving across the north central states, bringing some heavy snow, blizzard-like conditions, and some heavy rainfall on the warm side. And we'll also be diving into the Easter weekend forecast in today's weather forecast. If you are new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and the like button. It's the thumbs up button down below the video. It helps out more than you know. Let's look at today's weather forecast for your Monday, March 25th, and looking at our temperatures to start the morning here. Very cold, especially up here into our western areas, especially for the Dakotas down into western Nebraska, into the teens and the 20s this morning, and with some very strong winds on the backside of our strong storm system, that is knocking down our wind chill values to around 0 degrees, if not the single digits below zero, back here into the western Dakotas, down into western Nebraska, and even the single digits above zero as far south as western portions of Kansas this morning. Let's look at our weather alerts across the north central states. Let's start up here in the northern plains. We do have some winter storm warnings across portions there of northern Wisconsin, portions of Minnesota into the eastern Dakotas, winter weather advisories surrounding that in purple, even blizzard warnings up here into South Dakota and into central Nebraska. Now let's move down into our central plains states here in our southern viewing area. We do have those blizzard warnings, like I said, in central Nebraska, even extending back there into northwestern Kansas. Winter weather advisories all the way down here into central and western Kansas as well. And then we look further to the east into the Midwest and Ohio Valley. These tan shaded colors are wind advisories on the warm side of the storm, very windy conditions. And let's just look at that. As we go into this afternoon, those wind gusts and miles per hour are going to be gusting over 30, 40, even closer to 50 miles per hour here across the Illinois Valley, down into the portions there of Missouri and Indiana, western Kentucky. We'll keep an eye on that. Really, it's the strongest of the winds will be overspreading the area as we go into this evening here, up into eastern Illinois, into Indiana, into portions of Kentucky. Some wind gusts could be approaching 60 miles per hour in a couple of spots there, especially into western Kentucky this evening. Now let's look at our precipitation through the day. We got some heavier deformation snow on the backside here, central portions of Minnesota, back into South Dakota and Nebraska. Blizzard-like conditions will prevail this morning. The warm side of the storm, some drizzle, some showers there into Iowa, trailing cold front there across the Ozarks, seeing some showers and storms this morning. As we go into this afternoon, not much different than this morning. Very heavy snow continuing across Minnesota there into South Dakota and Nebraska. Some of that getting into our southern viewing area as that colder air rushes in. Western and central Kansas seeing some snowflakes out there as well. Heavier rain moving on the warm side of the storm from the Ozarks up into the Illinois Valley, western Illinois into eastern Iowa. Watching out for some heavier rain this afternoon. That will overspread the Chicagoland area, Milwaukee and Rockford, Illinois as we go into tonight. Heavier rainfall on the warm side. Heavy snow does continue across those same areas, Minnesota, eastern Dakotas, Nebraska, down into Kansas with some very strong winds there. Now as we go into Tuesday, March 26th, you can see the snow does continue. Minneapolis, St. Paul to Eau Claire up there toward Duluth, Minnesota. Very heavy snowfall up there. And we're seeing some drizzle and some rain showers across portions of Wisconsin, Illinois, down into Michigan and Indiana as we go through Tuesday. Tuesday night, we start to clear this storm out from southwest to northeast. We'll see some lingering precipitation up around the Great Lakes region, but our central and southern areas will begin to dry out as we go into Tuesday night. Let's look at additional snowfall accumulations through Tuesday night. We could see several more inches of accumulation here from the Arrowhead of Minnesota through central Minnesota, down into the eastern Dakotas, especially eastern South Dakota, into central Nebraska and west central Kansas. There will be pockets in here that could get over 6 inches worth of snow over the next 24 to 48 hours. And we have to look at the warm side of the storm. There is some severe weather potential across the Ohio Valley and the western Great Lakes region as we go into tomorrow on Tuesday, March 26th. The Storm Prediction Center's Day 2 outlook has a marginal risk of severe weather across portions of southwestern and southern lower Michigan, eastern Illinois, all of Indiana pretty much there, into western Ohio and northwestern Kentucky. There is a small 2% shading of a tornado in that vicinity around Chicago, Grand Rapids, Fort Wayne, down into Indianapolis and near the Louisville region as we go into Tuesday. Also a low-end threat for damaging winds over 58 miles per hour. and less than 5% for large hail in that area. So mainly looking at a tornado risk and a wind risk with tomorrow's outlook. So let's walk you through that. As we go into Tuesday morning, our first wave of precipitation and heavy rain will be pushing east. Here comes the main front though. We could have some clearing potentially in the warm sector of this storm, and it depends on how much we destabilize. We could have some scattered showers and storms developing from Chicago and Cook County down into eastern portions of Illinois and western Indiana Tuesday morning. Those storms will grow in intensity and possibly in coverage as they move through Indiana into Michigan and western Ohio, and you could see these supercells possibly developing. We could have a tornado or two embedded within this line, so we'll keep an eye on that. This threat will be maximized, by the way, late Tuesday morning through mid Tuesday afternoon, okay? So this is going to be an earlier day event, and then as we go into Tuesday evening, we are quieting down with our rainfall and all precipitation, so the severe weather threat will go down here as we go into Tuesday evening. Looking at additional rainfall accumulation on the warm side of the storm, very heavy swath of rain here from western and northwestern Illinois, eastern Iowa, down through the Ozarks region in Missouri. And that extends out of our viewing area into Arkansas. Widespread heavy rain of 1 to 3, even 4 inches of rain locally through Tuesday night across those areas, and we could have some flash flooding concerns. Now, midweek to late week, so rounding out the work week here, Wednesday, March 27th through Friday, March 29th, let's look at our temperatures. On Wednesday, colder to the north. That's because the snowpack is very dense up here after our snowstorm here on Wednesday. A little milder, but still chilly down across our south here across portions of the Central Plains and down into the Ozarks into the 40s and 50s for Wednesday. Warming up across our south and central areas as we go into Thursday, and that warming trend will move as far north as it can possibly, but you can see, look at that, central Nebraska where we put down some heavy snow over the next 24 to 48 hours. We could be seeing temperatures held down into the mid and upper 30s there, where areas that don't have snow in Nebraska are into the 60s as we go into Thursday and Friday. Look at that, Iowa, Des Moines, 68. Chicago, lakefront breeze, keeping us in the mid-40s there on Friday, but western suburbs could be into the mid-60s there in northern Illinois as we go into Friday. So definitely a warming trend and still cooler up to the north on Friday with that prevailing snowpack. So as we go through the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame, precipitation-wise, very dry for the most part as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll be able to enjoy those warmer temperatures where we don't have snow on the ground. And then as we go into Friday, we have some precipitation, maybe some drizzle, light showers moving across the upper Midwest, back into the Central Plains, really not that big of a deal. And looking at those precipitation amounts, very light, just hit and miss as we go Thursday, Friday into that time frame. So we're going to continue to watch that. Snowfall, really not looking at that either. So very a quiet end to our week. Now let's look here at our Easter weekend forecast for Saturday, March 30th into Sunday, March 31st to round out the month. Let's look at our temperatures. Again, colder to the north where we have that snowpack. We're going to be in the process of trying to eliminate our snowpack up here, try to melt it this Easter weekend, but it will be struggling to melt because temperatures will be into the 30s. A lot warmer to the south, 70s in the Missouri Ozarks region, downstate Illinois, eastern portions of Kansas on Saturday, March 30th, and mid and upper 70s, good and close to 80 there in southeastern Kansas in our southern viewing area for Easter weekend and especially Easter Sunday itself. And you can see further to the north, still cold with that prevailing snowpack for Easter Sunday. Precipitation-wise, on Saturday, March 30th, we do have some precipitation across the northern plains into the Midwest, Ohio Valley. Hit and miss again, not really anything organized on Saturday. Saturday night, really not seeing anything too organized, maybe a little bit more organized across portions of eastern Illinois, Indiana, and western Ohio for some moderate rain showers, a couple thunderstorms on Saturday night, not that big of a deal. More precipitation overspreading Easter Sunday across South Dakota into Nebraska and maybe kind of winging its way over there into northern portions of Missouri. More precipitation overspreading our central and northern areas Easter Sunday night. Those rainfall amounts through the Easter weekend time frame are going to be heaviest across eastern Illinois, downstate Indiana, southwestern Ohio, and northern Kentucky. Could have another swath of a half inch to up to 2 inches of rainfall there. And then seeing our snowfall very hit and miss here. The heaviest snows potentially in western South Dakota, we could be seeing maybe a couple inches of snow there for Easter weekend. Now let's round out the forecast by talking about the first week in April. Monday, April 1st through Sunday, April 7th here. Our temperatures during that week period, that first week in April, are going to be around normal to slightly above normal in some of our areas here across the north central states. And you can see our precipitation is going to be slightly above normal, especially across our east here. It does look like some heavier rainfall is possible from the Missouri region back through portions of the Ohio River Valley and our eastern viewing area, drying out a little bit across our north and western areas into the early part of April. And you can see if we do have any precipitation in our northern or western areas into early April there, that could be in the form of more snow. We have that snowpack probably lingering into that time frame here. So we could have those temperatures kind of held down into the 30s, and if we have that, the temperatures will be marginal enough for some wet snowfall as we go through that first week in April. Thank you guys so much for watching North Central Weather Center. Hopefully you guys took a lot out of this forecast. If you did, hit the subscribe button down below and show your support also by pressing the like button, the thumbs up button down below. It helps out more than you know. Another video will be out on Wednesday, March 27th on North Central Weather Center. My name is Hunter. Have a great rest of your Monday out there.